Please note that this video was created for the orientation of graduate and professional students due to start at Queen's University in September 2020. Should you be watching these videos at a later stage, some of the information may have changed. You should follow the relevant links and confirm these details on the websites mentioned and/or contact the relevant people giving the videos.
Welcome to Queen's. My name is Arthur Chen. I'm an International Student Advisor at Queen's University International Center. Here you see my colleague Amanda Gray, also International Student Advisor. We both regulated international student immigration advisors. This email ISA is very easy to remember. So anytime if you don't remember what we have talked today, just email us. We can get back to you and answer all your questions. It's isa@queensu.ca. Okay, yeah. Today we're going to talk about all related work regulations to Immigration Canada, from Immigration Canada for international students working in Canada. So basically, first we talk about working on campus and off campus. You could notice that we're not talking about a university job or non-university job. So from Immigration Canada point of view, the work is classified by location. So it's on campus or off campus. That is by geographic campus boundary. So anything happening inside the campus boundary is called on-campus work, and otherwise it's off-campus. So for any on-campus work, as long as you're a full-time student with a valid study permit, you can work for any job inside the campus boundary with no hour limit. For example, there could be a Tim Hortons store, coffee store. Then you work for them, it's still on-campus work. Okay, so career services is the main service on campus to help Queen students to look for a job, including interview, resume, all those things. Okay, so they are the professional people to help you for job seeking. And for off-campus work, also you need to be full-time student and valid study permit, no work permit required, but it's limited to less than 20 hours per week during regular semesters. And as graduate student, you don't have any scheduled academic breaks. So these full-time work during academic breaks won't apply to you. And you could work full-time between two programs. For example, you finish master degree and then go to PhD. Then you finish master in April and go to start a PhD in September. Then during that 4-month gap, you could work full-time. Okay. And there's a particular item about the internship that is only for people who's enrolled in an internship degree program, or you have an option internship, you choose that option. So basically means that is for any work component required for a degree. So there is a work permit to allow you to work full-time for this internship type of work. It doesn't matter the job title is internship or not, it's just about the Queen's recognize it as your internship credit. So then you need a letter to confirm your degree requires you to do internship, then you can apply for this called work permit. But then that will make you work over the limit. You know that you could work less than 20 hours per week already, but if it's required for a degree, then you can use this work permit to work full-time. But you can only use this work permit for Queen's recognized internship work, not any other job. Okay, so work permit, you use the letter from Queen's, and you do not need any job offer. You should apply as early as you can. The core work permit will have the same expiry date as your study permit. It doesn't matter when you will start your work or you will work or not. Even at the end, you choose not to do any work if you don't find one, it's still fine. You still can keep that work permit. It doesn't do anything. Okay, so on the work permit, you can see that Queen's is the employer. It doesn't matter you work for more than one company, any other company, it doesn't matter. You do not need to change that work permit. Okay, so yeah, for family members, so you could, if you have spouse, your spouse can apply for work permit and also can apply for for study permit if they want. They can have both. So when you are holding a study permit, your spouse can apply a work permit with together, and the work permit will be the same expiry date as a study permit. So once you extend your study permit, you can extend your spouse work permit at the same time. But once you become to hold a postgraduate work permit, that's after you finish study, then your spouse cannot automatically extend his work permit based on your postgraduate work permit. At that time, as a work permit holder, you need to have a job under NOC 0A and B level. Then your spouse can extend spouse work permit. Otherwise, you need to extend your spouse as a visitor first, and then once you get this type of job, you can apply for your spouse work permit back. And your spouse work permit will be valid on its own, so you do not need to apply extension before its expiry date. You can wait until the last day before the expiry date to apply. So we can talk more details when the situation comes. You check with us. We can go through more details. It's too early now, but yeah, just think about that. So the postgraduate work permit, maximum 3-year open work permit, that is based on your program length by definition. So if your program will be PhD program, for sure you get the 3-year work permit. But if your program was less than 2 years, will be the same length as your program. So if your program was 2 years and longer, you will get 3-year work permit. There's no 2-year work permit. It's just a 3-year or less than 2 years. So if you're doing 1-year master, then you probably think about to take another 1-year program, then you can be qualified for 3-year work permit. Otherwise, you get only 1-year work permit. And this postgraduate work permit, you can only apply once in your lifetime. It's not extendable. So if you finish a master and then get a work permit, then go to PhD program. Once you finish a PhD, you won't be allowed to apply for another post-graduation work permit. So you cannot apply extension either. And there is a bridging work permit that is only for people whose current work permit almost expired, and then before the expiry date, you have successfully submitted application to the permanent residency. So you know the current express entry system is by invitation only. So you never know when you will be able to submit application. So only after you are invited and you have submitted application, you have a letter to confirm that have received the application, then you can use that letter to apply the bridging work permit. And then when holding the work permit, the bridging work permit, you can wait until you keep working until you get a PR decision. But you have to get that application submitted, receive that confirmation letter before your current work permit expires. Then you can apply for the bridging work permit. So we can talk more details when you have this situation. You can check with us. Okay. So for the postgraduate work permit again, you have you have 90 days to apply because before your study permit expires, you can start working full time. And the postgraduate work permit actually requires you to study full time all the time. So if you do need to take any break, not a scheduled break for any personal reason, then you do think carefully, because when you apply for the postgraduate work permit, they will ask you to explain break. So we can talk about that. If you do plan to take any break, you better check with us before you go ahead. So that's case by case basis. Okay, so while holding the postgraduate work permit, you could still study if you want. You can apply for a study permit. You can have more than one permit. Okay, and transition. So basically, for the postgraduate work permit, before you apply, you work for off campus until your program complete. So before your program completion date, you can still work up to 20 hours per week. But once you finish your study, you can no longer work anymore. You need to stop working until you can submit an application to the work permit before your study permit expires. So that's the transition to the work permit, postgraduate work permit. And the social insurance number, I put it here, but it's not the immigration part. It is really a Service Canada. So this is the tax purpose. It has an expiry date, but it doesn't really matter as long as you are allowed to work in Canada. You keep using the same number, and once you extend your study permit or get a work permit, you can extend the same. So anyway, you should get a SIM before you can start working. Basically, you can start receive payment. That's the thing. Okay, yeah, that's social insurance number. Any questions, as said, just email us, and we do have a virtual advising as well. So by now you probably can see the session dates, and you can also email us. We can set up virtual advising by email and individually. Okay, that's it. Thanks so much. Looking forward to meeting you in person. Take care.